Hello YouTube, Luigi here. The title of this video is, you call that a watch collection? Well, I don't know if it is. Maybe it's the beginning of one. I'm absolutely terrified to start collecting watches because I remember what happened when I started collecting knives. It was a compulsion that quickly got out of control. And speaking of knives, today's carry is a Schrade SC60D, D for desert camo. It's an automatic. And you might even recognize this cardboard thing case which I made myself, and I'm proud of it, and I like fiddling around with stuff like this even though it looks like hell. I made that for my knives, and I have several more of these that are full of what's left of my knife collection. Anyway, let's start with this. These three knives were given to me very generously by my buddy Steve Burdett. This is a Seiko titanium 50 meter. It's got day-night. It's 37 millimeter case diameter, and it's 8 millimeters thick. And I don't have any weights for you here, and I'm not going to get granular about how to set functions. I'm just going to show them to you. This one is quartz, and it works fine. It's got like a charcoal gray dial. Really nice numerals. Everything about this is just wonderful. I actually took a link out of this bracelet because I learned how to do it on YouTube, because I thought it was too big and I put it back on and then it was too tight. So I like it the way it is just fine. That's a Seiko. This is another Seiko, a Seiko 5, and it don't work. It's an automatic. And I know what that means. You got to shake them up. You know, and maybe we can see the second hand move now, but it won't last long. I'm aware of how these automatics work, so I wore this on my off hand for 48 hours straight, slept with it and everything, and it only held its charge, or whatever you call it, power reserve, for about 9 hours. I could not get this to go more than about 9 hours. See, it stopped already. But that wasn't much of a shake. So I don't know what's wrong with this. I'm hoping it's simple and it can be fixed, because I like the watch. I like the watch. This is a real Seiko 5. It's an automatic. It's got day date. And 36 millimeter case. Again, 8 millimeters thick. So this is not a shot to my buddy Steve. He was very kind to give me these. And I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth, but this one doesn't work. This is a Plaisant moon phase gold, and you see these smudges on the dial? Boy, if you go online, almost all of what you'll find out there has the same smudges. This is not an inexpensive knife. I saw these for sale for $1,250. And it's got these little buttons on the side that you push with a fine pointed tool. And I had this going. I had the day and date perfect. I had the second hand perfect. I had everything going. Everything set. I figured it all out. And then when you go to wind this, everything I've learned on YouTube says wind them 30 to 40 times. I must have wound this 100 times, and it never tightened up to the point where you figured it was all wound up. You can just wind and wind and wind and wind and wind and wind. And this too, after all that winding, maybe it's winding a broken mainspring. I do not know these things. This one would only run for 4 to 5 hours and stop dead after all that winding. And that's a shame, because this is a really beautiful watch with an ostrich strap, and I love the strap. So I don't know if this is worth fixing either. You know, relative to its age, it's got an inscription on the back. It says Jenny, John, and Marie, and it's dated 1958. So we know this is at least 58. Not quite as old as I am. And then I'm going to show you my favorite. Oh, God. My favorite watch is this. A Casio. Let me try to get some lights off of this glare. This is a Casio Wave Scepter. It is a MVA 3311 430J or something like that. I'm doing that from memory. This keeps perfect time. It picks up a radio signal overnight. It's got a million functions. I'm not going to show you how they work. I can tell you about them. It's got 4 alarms. It's got a signal on the hour. It's got world time. It shows you when you received your last signal. Boy, it looks like someone kicked this off with daylight saving time. I'm going to set that back to automatic. And I just love it because it's perfect. It's solar. I've never had to put a battery in it. It keeps perfect time. In fact, most people who have mechanical or automatic watches will use a radio-controlled clock as their atomic clock and set all their other watches by something like this. I love this watch. I wrote to Casio to tell them how pleased I was with it, given its age, and they said they started making this model in 2006. I don't think I bought it quite back that far. But back in those days, my brother Tom, who's a hell of a watch collector and very, very knowledgeable in all things horological, he asked me what kind of watch I was carrying back in those days, and I said, I don't have a watch. And he said, "Oh, are you one of those who looks at his cell phone?" And indeed I was, and I was mightily upbraided for that and quite chastised. So this is it. Now, getting back to my brother Tom, I've been looking at watches. In fact, I had my watch list on eBay had, oh my God, I bet it had 50, 60 watches on it as I started learning about them on YouTube. And I decided I was going to try to get only, this is way too narrow, only solar and radio controlled watches. Casio makes them, other people do as well. Well, that's pretty silly to limit yourself to that, although the narrower your collecting interest, the more sane your collection is going to be, if I am indeed building a collection. But my brother Tom knew, because I told him, that I was interested in the Casio lineage, a blue-faced solar atomic watch for under $200, but also the Casio Oceanus, slightly larger blue-face watch, solar atomic refresh, and that was $450. So having known that I like blue-faced watches, he sent me a link today, this just happened an hour ago, to Amazon where it was a Casio Edifice. It was solar, but it was not atomic. It had a blue face, a 37 millimeter case for $22, and you know, I bought it, and I got really scared that, oh my God, here comes that old compulsion again. So let's see if we can keep this one under control. When the Casio Edifice gets here, you can look forward to a review on that that watch alone. All right, that's it. Could be the beginnings of a collection. It's unfortunate about the 2 that Steve gave me that aren't running perfectly, but you know, things can be fixed. All right, God bless you. I love you all. Take good care. Bye-bye.